guys, Midnight Strike here with my first new review for a game since PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale came out in November. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time for the PlayStation 3. And this one just came out a few weeks ago actually, on the 5th of February. I picked it up the day after and was pleasantly surprised. I was a bit skeptical at first because I haven't played Sly 2 or 3, so I knew a little bit of the story by, reading up on it and everything, but, nothing really beats playing the true game. So, I got the first one a few months ago for PSN, and, I decided to get it, because it was PlayStation Plus free bonus, so why not, right? Gave it a playthrough, and I gotta say, I was really pleasantly surprised. The platforming in this series is just absolutely phenomenally excellent, so I gotta give it that much, and Sly 4 is no exception. Yes, this is the fourth title, Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, also known as Sly 4, so some people like to refer to it as that. I personally just say Thieves in Time, so anyways, delving into the actual review, you play as, of course, Bentley, Sly, and Murray, but you can also play as Carmelita, actually. Unfortunately, there are no missions tailored towards her, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, just playing as Sly's arch-rival just kind of gives it that twist, the twist of fate that they're working together finally. So, begins, Bentley invented a time machine, as alluded to in the third game. So, basically the entire game has you going through, like 5 or 6 different levels, finding Sly's ancestor, and then teaming up with said ancestor to beat the boss of the level after a while. And this one has some really great boss battles, really stellar platforming, as I've said before, and new to the series, there are some costumes that you can have, and they have different abilities, and they detract some of your abilities that you could use without them, so use them sparingly. Albeit, the archer costume, actually there's an archer costume that really doesn't take anything away except for your speed, so I'd gotta say that one's the most useful, I guess, in terms of that. So, costumes are good, Sly's the only one that can use them, and as for the level progression, it's a little linear, to be honest, because this one's more mission-based. It's the first game with a heads-up display, the little HUD circle in the middle, and it tells you where your mission is, and you have to go to it. And depending on who you pick for the mission, it'll take a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, so they like to focus on various aspects, various characters to do these missions. So it's really cool how you can begin a mission as someone and then end it as someone totally different. So, but it is very linear in that sense. Whereas the first game, you could pick any level that you wanted to do, and that's kind of like a mission. It's a heist, so you could pick any level and just do them in whatever order you wanted to. So, I don't know, it's a little bit too linear for my taste, but I still love the game. I still absolutely adore it, because the platforming, the humor, the voice acting, everything shines, aside from, a few minor gripes that I have with it thus far. So, basically, Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, awesome. It has that, childish appeal to it, all the Sly games do, because they have that sort of, childish, kid-like appeal to it, but without getting to the point where it's too childish. So, someone like me, or you viewers, if you're older than 16, couldn't play it, It's not to that point yet, which I really like. I really enjoy it. So, it's really nice, and to be honest, a lot of the ancestors in this game have really unique special abilities. So, like, there's levels like Japanese, the Old West, there's prehistoric era, there's medieval times, and then there's ancient Arabia, which is really cool. And then there's a really messed up version of Paris, so you got all those levels to look forward to. And there's a bunch of missions that you can go to. Even though they're linear, they're still really fun to do. They're really fun to perform. And clue bottles from the first 2 games make a return in this one, and they are scattered out as ever. They are really hard to find. Some of them are really easy, but a lot of them are just really hard to find. You really got to go out of your way to look for them. And also, there's the addition of the hideout, which is where you can pretty much essentially go play games, go time travel wherever you want. It's pretty much just your base. So essentially, yeah, it's your hideout, it's your base. And within levels, hidden within levels, there are various treasures that you can bring back to your base, and as soon as you get enough, you can unlock this video arcade thing where you can play different games, and I believe there's a trophy for it, so very fun. And then, even if you don't have that unlocked, you can play, I believe it's table tennis. Yeah, it's table tennis. You can play that with Bentley, so he's got a kick-ass wheelchair, by the way. I would love to have that wheelchair if I was handicapped. I mean, I believe anyone would, so that's awesome. And a lot of unique play styles. Each character is different aside from Sly's ancestors, which could, you know, be interchanged with a few minor abilities, so they could have worked out on Sly's ancestors a little bit more, but say Murray, Bentley, and Sly are just totally different fighting styles. So, I mean, I obviously prefer Sly and his ancestors, because I find that Murray, I mean, he, as strong and powerful as he is, he can't climb things. He's not acrobatic, he's not nimble, so... And Bentley, while, you know, he can fly and bomb things, his bombs are really weak, in my opinion. Maybe you can upgrade him, but for what I have right now, his bombs are really weak, so I'd stick with Sly, unless there's a mission that requires you to do otherwise. So, but still, each character is really fun to play as, and also there are hacking scenarios where you are Bentley and you can hack into, say, a computer terminal or something, and there's different little mini games. Some of them require you to tilt the 6-axis controller like this, and guide your character that way in favor of the joystick, or versus the joystick. So you're tilting it, and you know, games like the first Uncharted really didn't do it that well for the tilting of the 6-axis controller, but this game actually does it surprisingly well. I mean, it hardly lags. Sometimes it's a little bit too slow, but other than that, I mean, it's really fun controlling people like that. My main gripes with this game are that each mission kind of feels a little bit repetitive in that you go there, you time travel there, you find your ancestor, he's always locked up, he always gets himself, you know, captured, you release him, you formulate a plan, and you fight the boss, and then, you know, rinse, repeat 6 times. So it may seem a bit repetitive towards the midsection part and on, but some of the levels are just unique enough in their own right that it kind of detracts from that and makes it playable enough and makes it fun to play. So that really wasn't too big of an issue, but you know, in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh, I'm doing the same thing pretty much. But it was fun, so why not? You know, the only one I really didn't like was the Grizz. He's a bear in the prehistoric period. He's a rapping hipster bear. He wasn't evil enough. He wasn't scheming like all the other ones. Like, there was a panther, or no, leopard, something like that. Leopards. El Jefe. And there was this little guy, Toothpick, from the Old West. And, I mean, they at least had some kind of motivation for being evil, or they at least seemed evil in more of a comical kind of way. But the Grizz, I mean, I don't know. I personally didn't like him very much. He wasn't evil enough for my taste. There wasn't really a point for adding him in there. He just was kind of annoying. So overall, this game has excellent platforming, excellent stealth, a lot better stealth than the first game in my opinion, because the enemies can hear your footsteps now, you know, per Metal Gear Solid. So it's very nice, very good fighting, and just, like I said, excellent platforming. I cannot stress that enough. In a platforming genre full of climbers these days, like Uncharted, Assassin's Creed, not that those are bad, but, you know, it's a kind of a breath of fresh air to return to the good old days, you know, with Crash and Sly and, you know, Mario and all those ones, you know? It's nice. So, just awesome platforming. And really fun game. Just gets a little repetitive, and they could have done a better job with the map system, in my opinion. They didn't let you mark wherever you wanted to on the map, and when you displayed like the clue bottles, you wanted to figure out which way or how many clue bottles you have. It's a little confusing to navigate, so they could have done better on the menus and the map, in my opinion. But everything else truly does shine. So for this game, I'm probably gonna give it 8.5, 9 out of 10. So probably 8.5, 8.5. So Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, awesome game, 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend it because it is a child. It's a kid's game, but it's really fun. So thanks for watching. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep it calm and rock on.